you'll see it pop up on your end, and when you're able to go,
Okay, gotcha.
it'll just light up. Let me know if it is.
Okay.
You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, cool, cool, cool. Yep. So we're all out. Well, all of them. So, hey guys, again, it's London Great, the Great Theory podcast, and we have a special guest here this evening, Brenique. So, introduce yourself, Brenique. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Brenique. I'm an Atlanta-based abstract artist. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I do customize accent wall pieces. I work with different interior designers around the city of Atlanta to create custom pieces for people in their homes. So
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, thank you, Brenique, for the introduction. So, we're gonna get started. So, tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from.
I am originally from St. Thomas, the United States Virgin Islands. I moved to Georgia about 20 years ago at this point, back in 2003. So I am, out of, I guess, I'll say Covington. I grew up in Covington for the most part, all through middle and high school. A graduate of Georgia Southern University, the real GSU. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I got into, after I graduated, I came home after college, and, the job search thing was just, every college graduate kind of knows, if you don't come out of college with a job, that little 6 months after graduation is like a little limbo. And during that time, I was, living with my mom, and she had a dining room that, was kind of bland, and I told her I could, spruce it up for her. She let me paint it and then posted it on Instagram or Facebook, and it just kind of caught fire from there. So shout out to my mama.
Nice. Shout out to mama. So, what was your first introduction to art? Was it in college? Did you study it, or was it just pretty something that you were always good at?
It wasn't in college. I didn't study it or anything. I honestly, my dad is a contractor, so I've
Okay.
seen him paint just like playing walls and stuff throughout my life. But I don't know. I just scrolling through social media, I saw a wall and I was like, I can do this. It was really just them geometric walls with just like the lines. You just put tape on the wall, paint over it, and take tape off, and that's just kind of where I started. And then really, as I started going through it and getting clients, my clients would ask me, hey, can you do this? And I'd be honest with them, I've never done it before, but I'm willing to try it. So really it's my clients pushing me and challenging me with different pieces of art or different types of, like, even the wood walls and stuff like that. That was a client saying, hey, you can draw straight lines, can you cut straight lines? So it's really all, I guess, evolution, just pushing myself to do different things, and not saying no to projects even when I'm scared of them. So
that's dope. A lot of people would refrain from, like, hey, I've never done it before, so I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would kind of take a step back, like, whoa, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's dope that you kind of push yourself and you don't shy away from it. So would you say
I'm upfront with it too. I tell them, like, I've never done it, so like, just bear with me, but I'm down to try. So
that's what's up. So would you say that was your, like, most defining moment of, like, okay, I'm gonna turn this into a business?
To be honest, COVID. I was working in the fitness industry when COVID hit, and the gym that I was working at shut down. And at that point, I had only done probably like 2 or 3 houses, and I had one of my friends on Instagram who went to college with me that hit me up, and he was like, I just bought a house. I want to get my living room done. And, I was like, I ain't working right now, so let me go ahead and knock that out. So I did that. He referred me to a friend. That friend referred me to a friend, and that's kind of where it went from there. So I think really, like, my defining moment was just honestly trying to make something out of boredom, not trying to be stagnant, not trying to, have an idle mind, and just making sure that during this time where, we were in an unprecedented time, we didn't know what was going to happen, throughout COVID. So I was like, I'm gonna stay busy. So
that's what's up. I like that. Well, some people, I would say for myself, I would still had to go to work. So I still had stuff to do. But I think that's beautiful. A lot of people did not know, and yes, there was a lot of things going on at the time. I didn't know how we was going to come out of it, and especially a lot of
Mhm.
people who in the entrepreneur world, like it was just like a lot of businesses flourish. I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of entrepreneur businesses was like booming, and then it was just
Yep.
kind of like that weird tilt on the scale. Um,
Mhm.
so did you receive, so after you like started posting on Instagram and you started receiving a reaction, a lot of people, like did you have a lot of friends and family that did support your work outside of the people, that was just that got the views from like social media seeing your work?
I did have a lot of friends and family that supported me. Well, first of all, my partner in this whole game is my younger sister, Danielle.
Oh,
So when I started, in quarantine, I was knocking jobs out, and then when the jobs really started coming, I was like, if I bring somebody on board, I can be able to move faster. And for
mhm.
her, she did AP art all through high school and stuff. Like, she can do portraits and things like that. So I mean, she's like an artist on a different level compared to me, I always say. But just bringing her on, keeping everything in the family, making
Mhm.
sure we both eat. But
Hey.
no, my family and my friends are really who kind of started it. They're the ones who are always reposting and everything. And then like once the ball kind of got rolling, yeah, the strangers were coming out the woodwork, like I was, yeah, I was like, I was surprised. Like when I had to start creating my website and creating like invoicing systems and stuff like that, it was like, I would never see myself. If I look back 5, 6 years from now, I wouldn't have seen this business being as successful as it is right now.
Nice, nice. So what year was it created? Like when did you truly start?
My first paint project was December of 2018.
Okay.
I think 2019, I probably had like two paint jobs. And then 2020 is when it went crazy after 2020. So,
Nice, nice, nice. So how did you come up with the name Brain Language Art?
well, actually, I doodle when I'm on the phone or when I'm, like doing something.
Yeah.
And I was doodling one day, watching TV, and it was just like, little lines that just kind of made something. And I was like, this is literally just my brain. This is the language that I'm seeing, and it's just coming out on paper. So that's just kind of how that came up. So
That's what's up. Brain language, a doodle. That's all of this came about by a doodle that's on the phone. That's what's up. So, what do you think the great area was for you where you had to navigate the entrepreneur world?
um I would probably say once I had to like really create the LLC and create the website and create the invoicing system and all of that. That was my time where I was like, do I really want to do this? Because art is something that I had began to enjoy doing. And I was like, sometimes when you make something that you enjoy and that you're passionate about into a business,
Mhm.
it now it becomes work, right? So sometimes, just like you'll hear basketball players and stuff say that, or athletes, they fell out of love with the game because it became a job. Um,
Yeah.
but I think that's when I was like, kind of like, I don't know if I want to do it, but I was like, the I guess the demand was there.
Yeah.
So, I might as well just
Go
throw my
ahead.
hat, throw it out there and just see what happens.
See what happens. And I
Yeah.
mean, it turned out good. Like, would you say that, like, oh, I'm satisfied of how it turned out? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just never would have thought, right?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with how it turned out. I never would have expected it. I don't think I give myself enough. Like, I'm my biggest critic, so I don't give myself enough like kudos and like, you
Mhm.
know, pats on the back. But I'm proud of myself though. So
Yeah, I remember going scrolling through your page. I was like, oh shoot, this is something I would see like on a Pinterest and like, like, oh shoot, like just knowing that someone out there can do this to a wall. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like I dabbled in interior design, but like more of the hard line stuff. So like plumbing and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
actually seeing another person, like I'll go to somebody's house, like, oh shoot, I'm thinking it's a wallpaper, but
Yeah,
it's not.
it's not.
So that's dope. Do you think that you're walking in your purpose? And if not, what are you doing that is allowing you to align with your purpose?
I do think that I'm walking in my purpose. I get complete joy and satisfaction out of, creating something for somebody that they give me complete creative control over, but they give me I guess like a direction of what they want. I want this ATL inspired. I want this, Chicago inspired, whatever the case is. But the line work and everything like that. Like when I sketch something out for somebody, I just give them the big pieces that I'm putting on the wall. The lines and everything that goes into that, they give me a list of stuff. And then on the spot, as I'm doing it, I just, it's brain language. It just comes out. But I think that if you ever see one of my pieces, you know who did it. Because nobody can duplicate or replicate it. So I definitely think that's me. So
Yeah.
I
Your
definitely,
signature. I definitely can say I like going to your page is like I've never seen. I'm like, oh, okay. It's just kind of like your signature. So I think that's pretty dope for you to have a signature without having to sign it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a signature without having to sign. So I think that's pretty cool. Is there any risk that you regret not taking?
I guess probably not doing it sooner. Not, trusting myself a little bit earlier in the game. Like when I realized like, okay, people are hitting me up for some of this stuff that I know I can do. But to be honest, I don't really turn down projects, like even if I am scared or I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, 2 weeks ago I did, East Point Housing Authority. I did a mural and I've never done a mural like that in, their housing authority. And it was a big space. It was on a brick wall. So I was already dealing with, I wasn't dealing with a flat surface and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I was telling my wife to the day before, I was like, I think I'm gonna turn it down. I think I'm gonna refund them this deposit and be like, nah. But I pushed myself and I did it. And then like you see the final product and you see, everybody's reactions to it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely walking in my purpose and I'm doing, I'm unapologetic about, what I do. So
What do you do? That's dope. I really love that. Are there any problems that you are, I'm sorry, what is the risk that you are looking forward to taking?
an outdoor space. So doing like an outdoor mural. I've never done one. I've had inquiries about it and everything, but as soon as I probably had like two or three, and then as soon as I say I've never done it, they're like, okay, well, when you get one, let me know so I can. It's like, well, if somebody don't give me a chance, I ain't gonna get one. But I definitely do like an
It was more,
outdoor.
so it was more so of like a you didn't have an experience with it yet, so it didn't kind of like take off. That was the okay. I mean, but you can't say that you worked on brick technically, so that is kind of like similar to outdoor. But I don't know.
Exactly. See, so as of 2 weeks ago, I have some good experience.
So technically, yeah.
Yep.
Now, would you say that the things that you use is safe for weather conditions? You know what I'm saying? Like, do they have those type of questions? Like, oh, is your work is going to like do weathering, storming conditions like hot and cold and stuff?
Yeah. So, I don't know if you know much about paint, but of course, you have your interior and your exterior
Yeah.
paint. But you also have, different like sealants that you can use. So after I finish a mural, I can seal the whole mural. But I
Okay.
think that over the years, I've kind of figured out what paint works best for what spaces and what, canvas that I'm putting the artwork on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not afraid to YouTube something, to research something, to figure out what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, I don't want it I haven't yet, knock on wood, had somebody that didn't like something that I did. So it's always my goal to make sure that the customer is satisfied, even if it's a mural or a painting that I'm like, I don't really like it, but the customer is ecstatic. They got to look at it every day. So, I see it while I do it, and then after that, it's just pictures for me. But yeah, there's different material for different canvases and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Because I've always see like I just was in New Orleans and I seen the famous like Zataran's Jazz It Up mural on the on the brick, and I'm just like, how long has this been here? Because it was so big and it's so high up in on the brick, and I'm just like, wow, like just to see that, and then have, now I'm speaking to you about murals being outside. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely a moment, because I'm like, I don't know, I'm terrified of heights, honestly, but who's getting up that high pain? It's crazy to me.
Well, I mean, I've had to get used to it, climbing scaffolds and 20-foot ladders and stuff like that. I still get a little uneasy. I don't look down, but it takes getting used to for sure.
So it takes it. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
have like a support that you use, like something that's like, that you have to tie around your waist or something to kind of like keep you stable, or you just free, just out there, you just out on a
You
whim?
know, I don't know if OSHA listening or not, but I just go up there. I don't have no type of what is it, harness or anything like that. But I also don't go over like 22 feet. Even though a 22-foot fall can probably kill me, but I don't go higher than
I'm like 22 feet. That's
that.
I'm like 6 feet is me. Hey.
Yeah.
But okay. Okay, so are there any problems that you are currently trying to solve in the field and industry that you're in now?
Um, Not necessarily any problems. I think that for me, I'm just venturing out into different things. So like I'm doing canvases and stuff like you see behind me, and not just everything,
Wait, you did that? You
on
did that in the
somebody. Yeah, that's Kobe back there. So that's one of my brain language pieces. So that's all lines and words and everything in the drawing itself. So that's probably
back?
like my new thing. But I don't think there's anything that any problems I can think of that I'm really trying to solve. I just haven't. I mean, there probably are some, but I just haven't encountered them yet. So.
I don't count. Okay.
Of course, you have your slow seasons. Right now everybody getting their taxes back, so everybody's like, "Yeah, come on, let's do it.
Yeah, what to
I'm
do with
ready."
this money?
But yeah, around November, December, I'm kind of chilling because everybody's saving up for the holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, it's like figuring out the marketing piece of it. Like I've now learned my slow seasons, so I'm
Mhm.
just figuring out how to market myself during that time. So.
Okay. So is there anything that you come up with so far that occupies that time to kind of, is it like honing in on your craft and just developing new work for you?
Yeah, so I think that's kind of what grew with the like the canvas pieces and stuff like that. I'm not having many jobs right now, so let me see, do something I can do at home that I can create either
Mhm.
digitally or paint a canvas piece or whatever. But
Yeah.
just keeping my mind busy, but also I've been getting involved in like art shows and stuff like that. So showcasing myself around Atlanta. Atlanta is full of creatives. There's probably an art show or something that they requesting vendors at or something like every weekend. So just
Mhm.
keeping my ear to the streets, I guess, and just making sure that I'm keeping my name, growing my
Mhm.
myself, I guess.
When was your first art show?
My first one, it was at the underground. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a brunch thing, but they had like vendors inside the underground. And then back in December, I did Art and B. I don't know if you heard about that one. They just had a show again
Uh-huh.
last month, but I couldn't do it because I was doing some paint work that day. But R&B is a good vibe. I think they got another one coming for Cinco de Mayo, where it's just like half art show, half R&B party. Hookahs, drinks, art. I mean, can't go
Listen,
wrong.
ATL gonna brunch. ATL gonna
I'm
brunch. If they ain't
serious.
gonna do nothing else, they gonna throw a brunch in there.
Yep. They're gonna have mimosas and hookah in every event for
Lamb
sure.
chops on the stick.
Yep.
Oh man, but that's dope. I've never been to R&B. I've heard something called R&B something, but there's so many
Mhm.
festivals that come around, especially in the spring, and then it started to get hot, and every weekend it's like a festival.
Oh yeah.
So I know there's gonna be. I think I went to one art show, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, and it was like Art by Walk or something. It was my
Mhm.
first ever art show that, I think he's from Chicago or something like that. But it was pretty dope. I like it. It's a great way to network and meet different people. And
Mhm.
just really get to see the artist's point of view of, you know, like them just like, hey, these are all the pieces that I've been working on. I'm like, and some of them take days, some of them take hours.
Yeah.
Um, so how long does it typically take you to finish out a piece if you're doing like a wall?
If I'm doing a mural, I would say like 2 to 3 days if it's like an average size wall. But it
Mhm.
really just depends on the stamps or the big pieces. You know, just how many they have, how intricate they are. But
Yeah.
usually it takes about 2 or 3 days.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I hmm, have I tried painting? I don't know. I think the last time I picked up any type of paintbrush was to patch a hole in my wall from my last apartment. Um,
Well, I
that's
will
probably
say
about
the first project I did took me 5 days. Um, and I severely like underbid myself. I wasn't, it was my first one, so I didn't know. So when it took 5 days, I really like sat back and I was like, okay, how can I speed this process up? Like, what can I do? And I can get some of them done in two. It won't take me. I can't do it less than 2 days.
yeah,
I'm a little bit of a perfectionist too, so I like to get into the details. If black bleeds over into white, I need to be able to fix that because if I can see it, it's gonna bother me. But yeah, it took some time. So
it took some time. So how did you manage to get your time window from 5 to 2 to 3 days?
well, I found different ways of uh I guess doing my big pieces and my stamps. And then I became more uniform with my line work too. The like if you look at my first project versus my project now, my lines look a lot more like uniform and put together and like mindfully done.
Yeah,
But my first project, it was just like I don't think I didn't have it, my gears weren't like going. So it was like you
yeah,
got a little piece over here, a little piece over there, and it was just trying to like connect everything. And I also think I did way too many stamps. So the wall just looked super busy. So like for me now, like, somebody will come to me and they'll be like, well, I want 12 stamps. And I'm like, let's chop that in half because you don't want your eye to just be like going everywhere. You want to just kind of, glaze across the wall, more so focus on the line work and not necessarily like the big stamp pieces. Because, like everything that's in the line is mindful. A lot of people have, especially in their home, they have their kids' names, birthdays, Bible verses, lyrics and stuff like that. So I'm like, those are the pieces that you want to be able to pick out of the wall and
right.
not a big Laker stamp here and a Chicago Bull stamp here. Like, so.
So when you say stamps, you mean like like you just said, like a big piece, like just a larger piece than everything else, right? It just kind of
Yeah.
stands out.
So like the logo pieces, like the big pieces that if you see them from far away, you'll know exactly what they are. Whereas
Okay.
like my line work and stuff, you got to kind of look at the wall and find it and pick it out, like kind of like a word search type thing.
Yeah, it's like an I Spy type of thing.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What was the best piece? I want to say your best piece that you were really proud of, and you just was like, I didn't even think I was able to finish this. Was it the brick? I want to say it was a brick, but I don't know. I may be wrong.
I think the brick is probably my most recent, right? But I think at this point I have a little bit more confidence in myself than I did before.
Yeah.
But I think my very first piece, that was the first piece that I was just like, because that client, I have never done it before. He actually put it in my head. I had an Atlanta piece that I did, and that I had just been posting on social media because at that point I wasn't doing my custom walls. I was more so doing like the geometric, shapes and different stuff like that. And he was like, "Can you put this on my wall?" And I'm like, "Are you crazy? Like, do you know how long that's gonna take me?" And like, what are you talking about? But he was like, "I trust you. Go ahead and do it." And then when I like really like sat back and looked at it, and I was like, "Dang, like I did that." But I think after the moment after that was when I did a ceiling. That's when I was like, okay, like this is me, and I'm confident in my craft now.
Now,
So.
how did you get? I want to say, how did you position yourself to just keep your head at that position and just keep going?
So ceiling days are shorter days. Like if I'm doing a wall, I can do 8 to 12 hours, knock them out. Ceilings, I'm like, I need listen, it's 6 hour days. I'm not, because I'm literally on top of a ladder, but I'm like this the whole time with my head back. But
Right.
it's, for me, it's just taking breaks, like listening to my body, really. Like if my,
Okay.
if I get dizzy, or if, because I'm also on a ladder too. So it's like I can't afford to, you know, get a little faint or whatever. But yeah, for me, it's just listening to my body, and just taking it piece by piece. I
Yeah.
usually start with like the big pieces first, and then sketching those on the wall, and then my sister kind of takes over from there, and I just go straight to my line work. But moving around too, and not staying in one spot. So like for me, if they give me like a list, the client gives me a list of stuff. I'll do something over here, and then I'll move to the other side of the wall and or the other side of the ceiling, do something over there. But just moving around kind of helps too.
Alright. That's what's up. Because I was to say, how you like? I don't know. Like that position. Even if I lay on my side too long, I'm like, look,
It was
mentally.
an interior designer that asked me to do that, and I was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "I mean, I'll try it. Why not?"
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like once I post something that somebody hasn't seen me do before, then that's when I start getting calls for it. Um, and now I'm like, "Dang, okay, well now I do ceilings." So
Listen, I mean, people are attracted to things that are, I want to say, limited. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people don't know
Mhm.
how to do. Like, limited edition, everything gets sold out always. So,
Yep.
limited edition, that's what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, hot commodity. So, everybody wants it. Especially if it's something that is just like, wow, I would never like. I don't know what Atlanta doing with this little patch of I don't know what it's called, like the cookie crumble ceilings, the popcorn ceilings. I
Oh
hate
yeah,
that.
popcorn
So
ceiling.
that is annoying. So I'm just like, you spent your time doing this. You could have just made it regular. Could have just made it
No,
flat.
seriously, for real.
I don't
I
understand
agree
it.
with that.
So yeah, I would definitely, if you have something like that, I would definitely recommend. I'm like, I would rather look at a mural on the ceiling other
Mhm.
than like the type of ceiling that they put in these apartments and houses sometimes. Um, So, in your business current standing, is there anything that you would improve, change, or need assistance with as you grow over time?
Um, I probably like the intake portion of it.
Mhm,
I am one person,
mhm.
so having to, do consultations, do the sketches, get the invoice, collect the deposit. Like, I would love, a little bit more help and assistance with that. But I'm also, creatively, because it's what I do, it's kind of hard to teach somebody how do I quote this person for this service.
Yeah.
Not knowing how long it's going to take, or what materials it is. But I think that process, just making it more seamless too for the client, like if you come to, my page or whatever, just being able to, put it in a forum, and I should be able to get you a invoice. But just because my work is so custom and unique to the person, um, it takes a little longer. So
Nice. Well, have you thought about like taking on an intern, or anything of that sort? Or has anyone came to you and just like, hey, I would like to, intern underneath you?
I have had people come to me about interning, but for the most part, it's just they want to learn the paint piece of it, and it's not
Got
necessarily like, I guess, the admin side.
you. Got
But
you.
yeah, I've had people that want to intern with me for the paint piece, and I want to take people on, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, this is what I do, like.
Yeah, it's kind of
This is my custom thing. Now, if I go teach you, and then next thing I know, I'm seeing murals that look like mine popping up
yeah.
around, So yeah.
I get it. It's your baby.
Mhm.
Um, so what is your destination for your business? Like, what is the full out vision?
um, Honestly, I'm kind of just driving on the road with no GPS on. I don't really
Yeah.
have like a destination. I know that there's gonna come a time where I'm a little older. I'm not gonna want to be climbing like ladders and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess really to answer your question, my destination is to create canvas pieces and be able to sell those. And once my body is like, we're not doing the physical part anymore, but still being able to create for people, and even do custom pieces, like this Kobe one. I did one for Jeezy back in September.
Yeah.
that was custom. It was a piece for him, and then I did 2 portraits for his daughters. But just being able to still add to people's art collection and their home decor, while actually having it come into your home.
That's what's up. And I think, sometimes you never know where you end up. I know for me, I can attest to that. Like, what you end up over here, like, yeah, this is it. This is it. And then you end up coming into contact with someone that kind of pushes you in a different direction, and it just works out. So I get it 100%. So, um, who is Brenique when no one is looking? Like, on your off days, and you kind of just like putting your canvas stuff down. Like, who is she? You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors, like, are you still
Brenique
doodling?
is
Are you?
a wife. I mean, on the weekends when it's not about the art and stuff like that, of course I want to still create, but I like spending time with my wife, spending time with my family. I'm the oldest of all my siblings. I got plenty of nieces and nephews. I can't get enough of just being around people that I love, that enjoy my company, that I enjoy theirs as well. So I like activity, hiking and stuff like that. Being outside. So this is my weather coming up now. The time done changed, so I'm ready to be outside, but not that way, but be outside, So yeah, that's me. I like being, in nature and being around people that, that I love. So
That's what's
me.
up. Have you ever been in a moment where you like gone to like in festival or art show and you just like, wow, then you instantly get into like that artist mindset, or you just kind of like you sit back and you just enjoy where you are? Because I know a lot of times when you are, going to be around something that's kind of like your field, it's like you kind of turn the switch back on to like work creative, like, oh yeah. Like, have you had those experiences often?
Oh, for sure. I think going to art festivals and seeing other people's art definitely give me inspiration.
Yeah.
But then, I'm a painter, so I'll go into like a business or like go get my hair cut, and I'm sitting in a chair, but I'm looking at how the salon owner, how that baseboard line meeting up to that wall line is not straight, and somebody could have went back in there with a little paint. But yeah, I mean, it never goes off, honestly. Like, I'm always looking at something and trying to just gain inspiration from something too. So
Do you end up giving them your business card? Like, hey, I do such and such work. If you ever need.
oh yeah, I'm gonna plug myself whenever I can. Like, if you ever need to flip, your suite or anything, and you're a salon suite owner, call me, like, no,
Yeah.
for sure. Of course, tactfully and tastefully. I don't want to disrespect you or nothing, especially if I'm like, I don't know who did these walls, and then they did the walls, and now I'm like, sorry. But right. Trying to be tasteful with it and just slide myself in there. So.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, we gotta plug ourselves. When you gotta end. You know what I'm saying? If the door's cracked just a little bit, you may get a foot in there, and that be your end.
Through now. Yeah.
But that's what's up. So to tie it all together, I really appreciated your navigation through entrepreneurship and just your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like your love for art, what you do, how you make it custom, and how you put your signature on it without having even to put a signature on it because it's yours. Through all of this, would you have taken the same route? I know you said you would want to have you would like to have started sooner, but is there any other route that you would have taken to get here or anything like that?
No, I think everything happens for a reason. And everything that has happened in my time, over the time for me to get here is the reason why I'm here in the way that I am here. So no, I don't really have any regrets for anything that I did or didn't do.
Yeah.
I think everything, as long as you learn from something, nothing is a mistake. So
yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. And entrepreneurship, do you feel like it was a hard, I want to say hard for you to kind of like jump into, or you were just like, I'm gonna just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people think entrepreneurship is kind of like this overnight thing. going viral of some sort. But for you and your experience, can you just talk a little bit about that and share like your just overall view for entrepreneurship?
I think you just got to take the risk.
Mm,
Of course, I was scared. I doubted myself a little bit. I was like,
yeah.
this is something I enjoy, but will I really be good at it? But I think just taking the risk and just throwing yourself out there. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the
Say that.
only way that you're going to get comfortable. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. You got to be uncomfortable. That's the only way that you grow. That's the only way that you get to try new things and just kind of put yourself, in certain rooms, put yourself out there and just to be seen because no one's going to know that you do this unless you tell them that you do this or you stand out and stand up for it. So I think that's beautiful.
Yep.
Do you have any questions for me?
Um, I guess what led you to where you are today? Like, what is your purpose behind doing what you're doing?
It's a loaded question, but it's pretty straightforward. I would say to give people their flowers on their journey, right? There's so many things that we may miss out on because we're trying to build something. There are so many things that we sacrifice or we may have to die to ourselves, die to certain things, certain urges, because we think, oh, it will always be there, but no, like your time is now, and just like technology is growing, like you kind of have to evolve with the times. You kind of have to keep putting yourself out there, and just staying consistent. So when I started my business, I was just kind of in that whirlwind of like, I know someone else is going through what I'm going through of just trying to navigate to figure out what the hell. Like, I know I like doing this, and I tell people all the time, like, oh yeah, you should do this, that, and the third. When it came
Mhm.
to marketing and as well as doing this podcast, I think marketing was the first part of it, and podcasting was the second part. So it was like a part two to me telling my story and having to hear other people tell their story of how you got to where you are, and the things that you had to go through and to get where you are. And then just to help the people that are coming up behind you. You know what I'm saying? There will be another brilliant wall artist, 50 years from now, 20 years from now, 2 years from now. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like when if someone can read about you in a book, what would you say about the journey you took to get to where you are? Not for instance, I think that everyone has their own journey for a reason. It creates character, and how you treat others and how you serve your community through what you do. So I definitely feel like in my purpose, I feel like storytelling and hearing people's story and making sure that you are aligned, asking the questions that you don't normally ask yourself to keep you accountable for the things that you want to happen or develop later on down the line, for your business or your vision. Even if you don't know where exactly you're going, it's always beautiful to see where you end up and to be able to look back and be like, yo, I don't know how I got here, but it kind of just fell in my lap type of thing. And I think those are the most beautiful stories. And we don't hear enough of them. So that is why I created this platform, to keep people aligned, to make sure to hold you accountable, to give you flowers, because it wasn't an easy journey. Things that you just had to kind of teach yourself along the way. um I think it's dope. I think it's pretty dope to, like, people got different skills, different. I know I can't put nothing on no wall, nothing but a post-it note. So you know what I'm saying? Everybody's in their field for a reason. You were born with a certain talent, skill set, pay attention to details, all those things. And I think it's great that we're not all the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's dope. And this is my purpose. This is what I love to do. I love hearing stories. And just like if you can walk away with anything, it's just like, the consistency, you know what I'm saying, that you put in, the discipline that you had to build up for yourself. Cause just like anything else, it takes discipline and it takes consistency to continue on. So you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, congratulations to you. You did it. And you made it to this point. And I can't wait to see what else you know, that develops later on in a couple years later this year, and see if you get that outside work going. So I'll be looking for sure. But
Thank
yes,
you. And I wish you many blessings on your continued success with your podcast and any other business endeavors you have going on too. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This is your host, London Gray, with the Gray Theory Podcast. Can you tell Brenique, can you tell us where to reach you on social media so people can follow and inquire about your work?
So y'all can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter or X, all at BLA_paint. Don't have a YouTube yet, but hopefully that'll be coming soon. But all of my social media is the same handle, BLA_paint, Brain Language Arts.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you again for coming on and sharing a little bit about your journey. And it was so it was so dope. Like, just being able to hear about it and just how you started. And it just literally fell in your lap. If you asked me, I would give that same story to anybody else. So it was a pleasure having you. And that's it. We're out, guys.
And I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
No problem.